lawmakers in Banjul plan to suspend Gambia-Senegal fishing agreement over its legality. CDS drama calls on security personnel to unite in the execution of their duties. Elsewhere, the Tunisian Navy rescues hundreds of irregular migrants, including women and children. These and more coming on the news desk. Hello and welcome to the news desk, coming to you live on iAfrica TV, and I am Julde Njai-Sware. The news in detail. The fate of the fishing deal between Senegal and the Gambia is in limbo as lawmakers seek to suspend the agreement. During the second ordinary session on Monday, the member for Fonyi Councillor described the agreement as illegal and called for its suspension. Aissatou Chow tells us more.
In 2017, Gambia signed a fishing and aquaculture agreement with the Senegalese government to strengthen the two countries' sisterly ties. During the National Assembly's second ordinary session on Monday the 28th, Musa Amunyasi, member for Fonyi Councillor, brought the motion without notice, Standing Order 53K of the Senegal-Gambia Fishing Agreement. Mr. Nyasi said the agreement was illegal, taking Section 79 of the Constitution of the Gambia to back his argument and call on the Assembly to put an embargo on the agreement.
Honorable Speaker, rising on that motion, on that Standing Order 53K, I want to implore on this Honorable Assembly, Honorable Speaker, being guided by the Constitution of the Gambia, Section 79 as quoted by the Honorable Member for Serekunda, which makes it illegal for the Senegal-Gambia fishing agreement to hold. As a result, I want to move the motion that this particular fishing agreement be put on a temporal suspension pending a thorough review either by the entire plenary or by the Select Committee on Environment.
Yakumba Jaide, a nominated member, has a different view as he accused the Fisheries Minister, James Gomez, of contempt. She said no agreement can be made without ratification, and as such, she asked the Assembly to stop the minister from going about the agreement until he brought it before the Assembly.
I think I have a different point. This matter, I would say, it's before us. The minister just stood here and informed us that they are doing something illegal. It's two options. Either we pass a resolution to find the minister in contempt, because this is contempt of the Assembly. Because clearly, agreements need to be ratified before they come into existence. Or if we are being nice, we ask the minister to stop implementing this agreement until it comes before us. Because the information is in front of us that this is going on in this country and this is illegal. So I think we should immediately move and pass a resolution for him to stop implementing that agreement until it comes before us.
The member for Upper Salum, Alajimbo, says that the Parliament's order on an issue is to approve or disapprove. He said, since the minister has been informed that for the concessor to be constructive, he has to bring it in Parliament for correction.
Yeah. Honorable, I think this section is really very clear. Really, there is nothing before us. If a document is before us, like the Honorable Member has said, our powers only is to reject or to accept. Now the minister has been told that for this agreement to be effective, he has to bring it to Parliament for ratification, like any other international agreement. I think what is proper is for us to tell the minister, as a matter of urgency, to bring that document here for ratification. And if, like he's saying, is at the end of the terms of the agreement, whatever it is, if it is at the end, come bring it here, we ratify it, or otherwise. So we cannot say, stop this, when we don't even know what is there. No, I'm just saying, we have not seen it yet. Yes, we have not seen any document here. How can I stop something that actually I have not seen? Something that actually I don't even know the contents of that particular document. I think
fish is an important source of omega-3 fatty acids. These nutrients keeps our heart and brain healthy. Most fish contain less than 5% fat, and even fatty fish have a fat content of just 15, similar to lean meat. This makes it an ideal choice for someone who is looking to lose or maintain their weight. For iAfrica News, I am Aissatou Chow.
Parliamentarians in Banjul plan to suspend the Gambia-Senegal agreement. Now, the Egyptian government is planning to increase electricity prices for electricity starting in the course for the future. Details in this report.
Electricity bills in the North African state will from July rise by between 8 and 26%, depending on the consumption segment, as the government implements the 8th increase in power prices. The electricity price hikes are part of a plan to gradually eliminate energy subsidies by 2019, but which has now been extended to 2024-2025. The move has faced several obstacles in the past.
The government's plan began in 2014, and the initial target was to completely eliminate electricity subsidies by 2019. But after the floating of the Egyptian pound, the Prime Minister and the President postponed the subsidy cuts to 2021 to soften the effects of the austerity measures. Then there was a setback caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which hit the economy in 2020 and had a major impact on people's lives. So the decision was to postpone it from the 2020-2021 fiscal year to 2024-2025.
The government says it will be saving approximately $1.7 billion annually from the subsidy cuts. Money, it says, will go into services and social welfare programs for the poor. Meanwhile, commercial and industrial facilities will not see an increase in electricity costs in a bid to ensure Egypt remains an attractive destination for investments.
The state has fixed prices of electricity for industries at 10 piastres. When you compare these to neighboring countries and other regions, and in other continents as well, it is the lowest price, just 10 piastres or half a cent per kilowatt.
Officials are also encouraging Egyptians to replace electricity with the much cheaper natural gas in their homes and businesses to save on household expenses.
Egypt to increase the prices of electricity in their country. Now, President Adama Barrow Monday inaugurated a multi-million-dollar Gambian embassy and ambassador's residence in Riyadh. The completion of the multi-million-dollar edifice, according to the Gambian leader, is a reflection of bilateral relations and bonds that exist between the two countries. Omar Ahmadou Toure tells us more.
The land for the multi-million-dollar project was given to the Gambia government in 1989 by the then governor of Riyadh, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud. In his inaugural speech, President Adama Barrow says the magnificent building was fully funded by the government of the Gambia.
I am proud that the government of the Gambia undertook to fully fund the construction of this beautiful edifice, to provide a conducive and secure office and residence for the embassy and the ambassador, respectively. Even though it took 7 years to accomplish the project, it is a more sustainable arrangement and a model that could save the country annual rent payments of up to $100,000. Indeed, it was worth investing over $4 million to own this magnificent building and its furniture.
The Gambia and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have been enjoying cordial relations for nearly 4 decades, and since then, Saudi has been sponsoring various developmental projects in the Gambia. The Gambia leader thanks his counterpart for the kindness accorded him and his delegation during these critical times when the world is still battling with the COVID-19 pandemic. He advises that the building and all its facilities be taken care of and maintained to safeguard and preserve the value of government assets. Barrow also says the structure should serve as a model for replication in other diplomatic missions abroad. The head of state further encourages the finance minister to emulate the positive example to construct other embassy offices and residences in countries where the Gambia has landed properties such as Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Gambian leader will be departing to Banjul on Tuesday, June 29. Reporting for iAfrica TV, this is Omar Ahmadu Toure.
On another development, the Gambian leader has left the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for Banjul on Tuesday morning after concluding a week-long official visit. During his visit, the president met OIC chief to discuss Gambia's hosting of 2022 OIC Summit, and also held discussions with several organizations and key Saudi officials. Details in this report by Binta Jallo.
President Barrow arrived in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on Wednesday and began his engagement with a visit to the Prophet's mosque in Medina. The next day, the president went to Mecca to perform Umrah at the Grand Mosque. During his stay in Mecca, Barrow met the president of the Islamic Development Bank, Dr. Banda Hajar, and discussed relations between the two countries. Hajar was briefed by the Gambian president on the profound impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on all economic and social sectors in the Gambia, especially with regard to the tourism sector. Hajar welcomed Barrow in the kingdom, expressing his hope that the Gambia will soon resume its growth after the outbreak of the coronavirus, stressing that the bank will continue to support the country to achieve the aspirations of the Gambian people. The meeting tackled the development cooperation between the IDB and the Gambia in various sectors. The Gambian leader and his accompanying delegation later moved to Riyadh on Sunday. They were received at the King Khalid International Airport by Riyadh Governor Prince Faisal bin Bandar bin Abdul Aziz. On the same day, Barrow held talks with Youssef Al-Othman, Secretary General of the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation, OIC, where he assured him that the Gambia is on track to host the next summit in 2022. The president also confirmed his dedication to the OIC's commitment to combating terrorism and extremism. According to President Barrow, the OIC project is at its final touches, but that did not go down well with most Gambians. Looking at the targeted areas of the OIC project, none has been worked on yet. But the OIC Gambia officials argued that the most important component of the summit is the hosting, and the rest of the projects can be completed even after the 2022 convergence. The president also met with the CEO of the Saudi Fund for Development, Sultan Abdulrahman Al Mashhad, to discuss aspects of cooperation between the fund and the Gambian government, especially the development project financed by SFD and which contribute to achieving sustainable development in the West African country. The president expressed sincere thanks to the IDB for its continuous support to his country, noting that the projects of the bank are highly appreciated by the government and the people of the Gambia. In addition to other engagements, President Barrow also inaugurated the new Gambian embassy and ambassador's residence, a project that must cost over $4 million. The new facility, according to him, will prevent Gambia from paying up to $100,000 per year to house its diplomatic mission in the kingdom. For iAfrica News, Binta Jallo.
Our reporter there, Binta Jallo, giving us updates of what the president's visit during his visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now with that, we go to Nigeria because businesses in Nigeria have suffered a serious setback following the UAE resumption of the COVID-19 travel ban. The UAE flight carrier Emirates reversed its earlier decision to lift the travel ban between Dubai and Nigeria following a disagreement between the two countries on the COVID-19 protocols. Details in this report.
Ijoma Mapai has spent about 10 years running and growing her interior design business. She sources her goods from Dubai and sells them in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. But the travel ban on Nigeria has been affecting her business. She's lost over 30% profit she could have made on turnovers.
that is really, really affecting the business. You don't get what you want because you can't travel. You have a business money, you're keeping it, waiting for a ban to be lifted.
UAE flag carrier airline Emirates shut down flights to Nigeria since February due to government's disagreements on COVID-19 protocols. The UAE had announced plans to lift the travel ban only to rescind its decision 48 hours later. Experts blame the latest action on the absence of global leadership for pandemic protocols.
We have our own protocol in Nigeria, which is different from what they expected from us. So normally, it's supposed to be either the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, that's supposed to come with a protocol for all the members, to adhere to. So that is missing. The state is WHO. They don't have a call for every country, and that is why countries like Britain just came out, who can travel, cannot travel.
In 2018, 185,000 Nigerians visited Dubai, but by the first half of 2019, Dubai recorded a 28% increase in the number of Nigerian visitors, bringing the West African nation to Dubai's top 20 visitors list. The travel ban has created a huge gap in the aviation industry and the larger economy.
On the economy, we are practically importers. So we import from Dubai, and Dubai lives on our own, what we spend in Dubai, because anytime Nigerians travel to Dubai, they have to spend money. I won't say Dubai cannot do without our money. They can, but we have a lot of investment in Dubai too. So we are linked economically. So there must have been some impact on the two economies.
There's no official statement from the Nigerian government on the travel ban extension, but businesses like Mapai's are looking to resume transaction so they can maximize profit. They're hoping that both governments resolve their differences soon and reinstate the flights.
We will now take a short break. Still to come, it's more local and international news. Do stay tuned.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put in to constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the news that's coming to you live on iAfrica TV, and I am Julde Yaisware. Now to the rest of our stories. Addressing the 4 Infantry Battalion in Kanilai during his nationwide tour to the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Yakuba Drame, stressed the need for unity among security forces in the country. The Army boss said there is a need for the security forces to work maintaining peace and stability in the country. Daisise tells us more.
The focus of the tour is not only centered on looking at the welfare of soldiers, as it includes discussion on military relations, tolerance among security forces, Crimes in the country are being tackled by security forces collectively depending on the mode of operation from each services. As these sister services work together for the maintenance of peace and order in the country, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Yakuba Drame, called for collective effort to maintain peace in the Gambia.
The inter-service relationship, how do we work closely with other services, is key. Today, no one institution can do it by themselves. There's a need for us to work with other services closely, i.e. immigration, police, SIS, National Drug Enforcement, immigration, etc. Today, the armed forces as an entity, we do not possess all what it takes to guarantee the peace and security of this country. We have strength, we equally have weaknesses. That is why there's the need, how do we consolidate on our strengths together? And how do we complement our weaknesses? If we do that, all of us together, we can have a very safe country. It means we have to work closely with the other security services. In my opinion, no one institution is better than the other.
CDS Drame also commended the patrol team in Kanilai for their relentless efforts in making sure the people live in peace. He added that the operation to restore sanity is gaining momentum, as most bandits are staying in their hideouts.
Let me commend the efforts of the patrol you conduct daily. I've been told that you conduct vigorous patrols along our borders, making sure that every Gambians live their dreams in peace and harmony. And equally, your colleagues in the greater Banjul areas, perhaps, if I may share with you, they are conducting what we call Operation Restore Sanity, basically trying to complement the efforts of the other security services. I'm happy to report so far the exercise is a resounding success. Those bandits, nowadays, they're hiding their ugly face.
The army boss assured Gambians that the armed forces will do all it takes to maintain peace in the country.
The aspect of peace and security should be the concern of every Gambian. Let me say well-meaning Gambians, anyway. But with us in the military, peace and security of this country should be our #1 priority. We cannot afford to allow the peace to derail in this country. We will do everything it takes to maintain the peace and tranquility in this country.
The Chief of Defense Staff and his delegate proceeded to the Senegalese economic contingent, where he was welcomed with a quota. The CDS and the Senegalese Troop Command later held a closed-door meeting. The tour on Monday ended in Sibanor in the West Coast region, where the same meeting was held with troops deployed there. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy Singh.
CDS Drame there calling on the men and women in uniform to maintain peace in the execution of their duties. Now with that, we move on to the matters of the National Assembly, because the National Assembly Standing Committee on Human Rights and Constitutional Matters has submitted a report on People with Disability Bill 2020, and the report was subsequently adopted. The bill, initially called Persons Living with Disabilities 2020, has been changed to Persons with Disabilities Bill 2020 and was put before lawmakers for consideration. Omar Ahmadu Toure tells us more.
This bill is placed before parliamentarians with the aim of bridging the inequalities between able and disabled persons. People living with disabilities was the initial name given to the bill that was introduced in 2020. It has now been changed to Persons with Disabilities, but not without sparking a debate at the National Assembly. Fatou Kinte, Gambia's Minister for Women's Affairs, Children and Social Welfare, who also looks after disabilities, explains the rationale behind the decision.
I've just been informed by our technicians that the earlier amendment, internationally, it is persons with disability, not persons living with disability.
However, the Sabasanjal parliamentarian Usman Toure disagrees.
People affected, for me, I want to believe that that is somehow discriminatory. It's somehow discriminatory because it's not friendly. And normally what most people propose is persons differently able. So there is no disability who cannot do something. You have some ability. But if you say person with disability, it means that person cannot do anything absolutely.
Alaji S. Dabo of Brikama North seconded the minister's suggestion of going by the international standards.
I think somehow we are not trying to open a new debate on this matter. I could recall this was strongly debated during our retreat. The expert that was sent to represent the disabled community also had the same position, that is the international standard for this is persons with disability, unquote, PWD. That's why we have that.
Nominated member Nde Yasin Seka Salah, who is representing the visually impaired persons at the National Assembly, has this to say on the matter.
We should not debate more on this. Since this is what people say, let's continue with what is happening. So for me, I don't have any issue with that.
In the end, the bill was amended to suit international standards as suggested by the Women's Affairs Minister. Persons with Disabilities Bill 2020 has intended provisions for healthcare, social support, education, employment, and promotion of basic rights for persons with disabilities. Section 33 of the Constitution recognizes equality of all persons before the law, while Section 216, subsection 2, provides for the establishment of policies that protects the rights and freedoms of the disabled to equitable social opportunities. Reporting for iAfrica TV, this is Omar Ahmadou Toure.
From that report, we head to Tunisia because the Tunisian Navy has rescued hundreds of irregular migrants, including women and children, from the Mediterranean Sea after their boat suffered damage while trying to reach to Europe from Libya. The Tunisian Navy picked up 267 migrants on Friday who were also attempting to cross from Libya to Italy. There is more of that in this report.
Hundreds of people, including women and children, attempted to cross the Mediterranean to reach the Italian island of Lampedusa. They departed from the Libyan coast.
Here, all Bangladesh people now, this one come Libya from Tunisia now is still ready, but never lost anybody life. This one Coast Guard, many help, everybody life safe.
You are not the first group who came from Bangladesh. We received a lot of people from Bangladesh, and we have a good relationship with Bangladeshi embassy, and they will do the needed follow-up. From our hand, as I am, we will facilitate contact with your embassy.
The Tunisian Navy also saved a group of irregular migrants from various countries, including Egypt. Some people have been reported missing.
My name is Goma from Egypt, Al Fayoum. We departed from Zora in Libya. We left last Friday at midnight. The boat broke down. It was supposed to carry 35 people, while there were 130 migrants on board.
My name is Mustafa. I also left from Zura to reach the Italian coast. I spent 3 days in the sea, in the same makeshift boat. 5 people have died. We were saved by Tunisian brothers. I don't advise anyone to make the risky irregular migration attempt.
The director of the UN Refugee Agency's Regional Bureau for the Middle East and North Africa urged the international community to help Tunisia in facing the problem of irregular migration, as well as the growing number of refugees.
It is unjust for Tunisia alone to carry this weight in addition to all its economic, social and political problems. It is our duty and problem to transmit this situation to the donor countries, especially the European Union, to help Tunisia. This is not Tunisia's problem. This is a global phenomenon.
During his visit to Italy this month, Tunisian President Kais Saied declared that irregular migration to Europe should never be addressed through a security approach. Saied indicated that it is necessary to consider the real root causes that incite men, women and even children to attempt the crossing to Italy. According to the Tunisian Forum for Economic and Social Rights, 836 undocumented migrants reached the Italian coast during the first 15 days of June. 39% of those who arrived in Italy are Tunisians, while 61% are of different African and Asian nationalities.
That's it from me and the rest of the team. But for more of these and others, join us in our subsequent news bulletin. Many thanks indeed for the pleasure of your company, and do have a nice day.